Hi, this is Tess Keem, and I represent the Republican Party of America. I'm running for Vice President with my running mate Joshua Shawver-Weiner. The purpose of this press conference is to address the issues facing America and what the Republican Party plans if elected to office. In order for our country to be in a safe and happy state of mind, we must first deal with our country's economic issues before we handle the ills in society due to social problems. We are not anti-social programs, but merely put emphasis on the economy. I'll take questions now. Yes.
Izzy Logan, Stage Chronicle. So your campaign said that you will cut education by a third to fund your immigration policy. Aren't you taking opportunities away from a lot of public schoolers?
As our campaign really promotes competition, and so our education plan is really promoting private education by exempting people whose children are enrolled in private schools for being taxed for public school education until their child is of 18 years old.
But doesn't that take away opportunities from public school? The 54 million public school goers who might not have the money to go to a private school, as much competition just might create for private schools. It's taking a lot of opportunities away from people who can't afford that.
We actually disagree with that because we think by promoting private schools, we're really encouraging competition. Next question, please. Yes.
Good morning, Ms. Keem. I am Michael Schroeder from the New York Times. I am wondering, how do you respond to the recently released video of your running mate's, Josh Weiner's, uncle admitting that he was in the Ku Klux Klan?
Personally, I think that's an allegation. And
he admitted to it on video. That's what I'm asking you to talk about.
I actually, it's a conspiracy. It's against our campaign.
But he admitted it. Are you saying that his uncle doesn't want him to win?
Excuse me. I think it's for the they're promoting the other parties, and that really there's no other evidence to support that he was in the Ku Klux Klan. It's just an allegation. Next question, please.
In the past, Ali Rivera, Fest Times. In the past, the Republican Party has been criticized for not reaching out to minority voters. What will you do to change that?
We're inclusive and we really support everybody's vote. We're different than other Republican nominees. We support some social programs. For example, we're pro-abortion and we are pro-women's choice, and so we really hope to attract all kinds of voters. Yes.
Darlene Gordon, Associated Press. Ms. Keene, your running mates are all white. How are you going to appeal to diversity across the United States of America with an all-white, very waspish campaign?
I really don't think our race defines who we are as a campaign, and I think I really think it's my running mate. He's Jewish. He represents a great community. And I really just don't think that us being white is really matters and it doesn't portray us as people. And I think that what really matters is our policies and our stances on that, not our race.
All right, let me rephrase the question. What policies are you referring to that will speak to the minds of African American and Latino voters?
I think our immigration policy, for example, we want to grant amnesty to current illegal citizens, and I think the Latinos in our country really speak to that, and I think that they're definitely going to like that policy and hopefully vote for us. Next question, please. Yes.
Izzy Logan, Stage Chronicle. If elected, how does your campaign hope to heal the divide between races of race relations right now? A lot of people say that police shootings and a lot of African American killings are hurting the nation. How do you plan on fixing that?
We support obviously our public safety and police officers, but we don't support people them killing people for no reason. So we really hope to work with individual communities and support community involvement and individual states really getting involved with their communities and working together to create a solution.
Thank you, Ms. Keene.
Hello, I'm Claire Wooden and I represent the Democratic Party of America. I'm running for Vice President with my running mate, Deborah Kamei. The purpose of this press conference is to address what we plan if elected to office. We believe the most pressing issues facing America right now are racial justice, education inequality, a fair tax system, and fixing America's infrastructure. Not a question? Yes.
Michael Schroeder, New York Times. How do you plan on stopping the extensive gun violence throughout America?
We believe that the most important thing to do is to enforce the gun laws we already have and to add new ones to prevent people that shouldn't be buying guns from buying guns. Yes.
Ben Elman, do you consider Edward Snowden to be a hero or a traitor?
What was the question?
Do you consider Edward Snowden to be a hero or a traitor?
I think it's important to have citizens that want to create a country in which citizens want to do what's best for the country and support their country. Yes.
Matthew Reynolds, researcher for Schauber Weiner King campaign. Ms. Wooten, can I call you Claire?
Good.
Claire, what is your economic philosophy? Do you support the free market? Are you a proponent of Milton Friedman's teachings, such as supporting a deregulated free market?
We believe that it's important to have a market in which everyone can thrive, and so a market in which small businesses are able to thrive as well as large businesses.
Thank you. Izzy Lowe with Stage Chronicle. How do you, what do you say about the allegations that your running mate came to a media filming hungover, from extremely hungover?
I'd say that there is no evidence behind these allegations. Obviously, she did not come to it.
I was at the media filming myself, and I saw it, and we have video of the tapes where she is obviously like incompetent in what she's doing.
You say she was hungover, and she's clearly incompetent.
Partially.
That
Like, it wasn't really willing in doing the media filming, I guess.
I think these are just. I was there too. I don't think there's any sort of evidence behind these claims.
Last question.
Yes.
All right, Javi Rivera, Fast Times. There is a huge race problem in America, but can you briefly describe the threat to American society posed by white privilege, as well as the policies you would propose to combat it?
I think that we have a lot of racial inequality in our country right now, and it'd be important to address it from all the different sides. We would work on police reform and policies that are non-discriminatory, and that would be a big focus of our platform.
Thank you, Ms. Wooten.
Hi, this is Joshua Osteen, and I represent the Independent Party of America. I am running for Vice President with my running mate, Daniel Frederick. The purpose of this press conference is to address the issues facing America and what the Independent Party plans if elected to office. There are many issues facing America today. There is growing inequality between race, social class, economic class. There is a huge issue with our education system, and our healthcare system is broken. There is crumbling infrastructure, and our foreign policy needs to be fixed. America is in dire need for solutions, and the Independent Party is the best option to solve our nation's issues. So thank you, and I will now take questions.
All right, Javi Rivera. Recently, the Department of Justice has released a series of financial statements that show how you have loitered campaign funds and enormous payments into offshore accounts totaling $500 million. Why should the U.S. population trust the responsibilities of the economy as the president when you have violated and abused the economic system yourself?
I have not done those things. I believe that these are things that come from the press and the media, obviously, that don't want the Independent Party to be elected to office. They probably support either the Democratic or Republican Party, which are majority parties. And obviously, I will release my tax returns, and I will release everything to show, and we will be completely transparent with the public, and we will show these things to be false. Next question.
Izzy Lowe with Stage Chronicle. Your campaign has said that if elected, it'll take a more isolationist stance. Even so, do you plan on doing anything about terrorist attacks or violence at home on our own soil?
Yes, and our foreign policy plan will help combat that. We are going to be isolationist in Syria, and we aren't going to, and this issue of terrorism was caused by our intervention in Iraq and Afghanistan, and of course we're already fighting ISIS. ISIS has almost been completely destroyed. We are making progress, and we will continue to make that progress if we are elected to office.
Well, what about terrorism by our own people, by our own citizens?
By our own citizens. Obviously, that's an issue that we are going to deal with. We will solve that issue through making sure that people in this country are secure and to keep, yeah, I don't know. Next question. Next question. Question.
Hi, Nuala Brennan, CNN. A video just surfaced of you and your running mate saying some raunchy comments about Miss Keene, Miss Wooten, and Miss Kamei, and judging their physical appearance. Do you believe that women are only based upon their physical appearance?
No, of course not. Obviously, women are very important, and we care about women very much, and our policy plan even includes making sure that we pass a Fair Pay Act, which helps women to be paid equal to men. Obviously, both me and Daniel believe that women are equals to men in every aspect, and we, of course, do not believe that women are important based on just their looks. Of course not.
Last question, Darlene Gordon, AP. No independent has ever won the office of President of the United States in this country. Why do you all think, as independents, you can actually seize the highest office in the land at a successful rate?
I believe that we can do this because I think people in the country right now are very upset with the Democratic and Republican parties of America. We are different in many ways. The Democratic and Republican parties both have made huge mistakes. There's corruption in both parties, and they simply haven't gotten enough things done. And if you look to the last election with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, those were the two least liked candidates in American history. And so we are going to change the American system. People are rallying behind us because we are different, and we are going to change the two-party system to make it a three-party or even more.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Osteen.
Thank you.